Hey guys, how you doing? I'm Dan with Dan's 30-foot dory build. Just a little bit more on sanding. I was out here scraping the other day just to see how the scraper would work on the fiberglass, and all the high spots, even the little bumps, the small bumps and stuff, anything that was higher than the surface, the 2 layers of 6mm surface actually scraped off really good. I was really happy with it. I've been out here a couple of times today. I started at the stem and I'm working my way back here, as you can see. I've just gotten to the, where are we here? We're on the port side of the boat. Just made it to the end here. The sanding wasn't bad at all. I'm using the 50 grit paper off that belt sander I had purchased, which at this time I'm not ready to use. That's in one of my other videos if you're curious and want to know what's going on with that. So I've been sanding this down with a 5x5 inch palm sander, not an orbital sander, a square palm sander, and it's taken it down really nice. There's a few mild little highs and lows, but I think once the whole boat has been prepped with putty and sanded out again, we shouldn't see these little discrepancies. I got about 4 hours in. I was out here this morning and it was really warm. I mean, it was so warm. It was only 22, which is about 73 degrees out, but we had rain for the last 2 days. It was sunny yesterday and it was so humid outside. Everything, the ground was wet, the grass was wet, and humidity was just coming out of the ground. So I came out here for 15 minutes with the dog and I packed it in. It was just too hot. It wasn't worth it. So today's Sunday. It's the 26th, I believe, today. I came out here early this morning. I think I was out here scratching at around 7:30. The dogs got me up, so we all came out, and I started scraping up the front of the boat and worked my way back, and then palm sander, scraping and palm sander. Now, I mentioned this in my other video. Where is it? It's right behind me here. This tool here, as I mentioned on my other video, it has foam in the bottom, foam. This is for drywall. So I cut the belt sander paper to fit. This tool by far, the resin just falls off the boat. It's worked smarter, not harder. 50 grit belt sander paper on a hand tool. It's working really good for me. I recommend it. Matter of fact, I used a palm sander to take the edges down, and then I have to go back to this to finish grading it. It just pulls off a lot more product than the palm sander, even though the palm sander does save your arms from agony. So yeah. So all the sections here that did not have an overlap, sanded out real quick, right in between the sheets, about every 58 inches. So this area here was a piece of cake. All the seams where the overlaps were, I had a fold here. Now I came this way, I don't know why I dropped the fold here. I should have brought it down here and then dropped the fold inwards here. But I left it out in the middle here. So basically I came here and just whipped it back and I fiberglassed it in. Now I had a hole here, because this material only comes so far over. I had a hole that came up here and went back down, and I threw a patch in there too. Okay, so I've got 2 layers here. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 layers with the patch to fill in this area where the hole. You can almost see it there in the photo. There's not much to see here. Just in there was a big little diamond area, and I had to put a double patch in here. And anyway, if you put a double patch here and overlap here, you got 4 layers. So there's a lot of this involved. But it's come down so close. I like it. Now the back here, it except for the insects that got stuck on there. I think I only have 3 impurities I got to repair here. The fabric decided to lift like a tiny little bubble. I'll have to grind them out a little bit, repatch, put a double patch over it, and sand it out. I think I only have 6 or 7 of them. They're mostly on the bottom. I don't know. I got up there, started rolling. I looked back, and I saw a couple of bumps, and I don't know. The material just decided to come up. When you're rolling material up, and you're laying down your resin on it, you need a certain amount of resin to penetrate it and get it to stick right away. And I usually just draw it in one direction first. Then I start rolling it. And it usually works good. But if the resin's going down and you start rolling it back and forth and push a little forward pressure or a little backward pressure, you're actually wrinkling the material. The whole material starts to pull. And that was probably my biggest headache there, is the material clumping. Now, I had a couple of what I call patches back here, and that where the material, I rolled out the material with the resin and it folded on itself. A real fine line, but it folded on itself. It couldn't go anywhere. So while I was applying resin, I took a X-Acto knife and I cut it. And that means I had to go through the 2 layers of material. That was the only way to lay it flat. But I didn't want to leave that cut there, so I threw another piece of fiberglass over that. So okay, so that's what I'm doing today. I'm taking off that 3rd layer to take it down to 2 layers, so that patch where that crease was is 0. I had 2 of them on this side. Yeah, I had 2 of them on this side. So I really thought this was going to be a real hard job to sand the resin. I really did. I know if I used too fine of a sandpaper, it would have polished out real fast and not cut very well. If you use too fine a paper, it'll clog up real easy too, depending what type of paper you have. Now this belt sander material is on fabric. It's tough, real tough, especially using it this way. And I think I'm using the right grit, 50, because it seems to just cut, and cut. I've had this on here all day. All day. And it's still good enough to go for more. But I didn't videotape any of the sanding because who wants to watch somebody sanding? So I just thought I'd come out here and just share this with you. Now, Joe Tex mentioned on his comments, he's one of my subscribers, of course, one of my first, I believe. And he's had a lot of good comments. And the one comment he made, and I have to agree with the man, is that where a lot of people cheap out is the finishing. They build the boat, they lay the fiberglass, and they do a bit of sanding, and I think they get tired. I've had enough, and they leave it like that. And then, of course, they go ahead and they paint the boat. So what you get after is, if you're using a shiny finish, what you get is you'll see all these marks through the paint. All these bumps, you'll see them right through the paint. If you haven't faired it out with putty, you'll see everything right through your paint job. Now, I used to paint cars. I used to do body work, not professionally. I used to love to paint, automotive paint. And I know if your base finish, this part right now, is not done to the best of your ability, everything you leave behind will come right through the paint, right through the finish, especially if you're using a gloss finish. Okay? Very important. I got a window until, I'm good until November. Somewhere in the beginning of maybe November, definitely the end of August, to play around with this, to sand it up, to repair the small spots where the fiberglass didn't take properly, grind it out, fill it. I got time. Am I going to get this figured out by the end of the year? I don't know. I got to go in and see what this stuff costs. It's all about the money too, right? If I can get enough of it to fare out all the sides, both sides, and the transom, and splurge a little on the bottom. Remember, this is not a speedboat. This is just a boat to go out there and, I don't know, putt along out and have fun, right? And I certainly don't want to underpower it. And I wanted it to look really decent. I mean, I'm putting all this work into it. I might as well spend that extra time trying to get a nice finish on it, right? So I've been thinking about this. You can buy bottom paint in a gloss or a flat finish. So I am going to go with a flat finish for the bottom paint, which is supposed to come down about 10 inches here, or 11 inches. That'll be my line. And then on the top of that, I'm going to go with a gloss. Seeing in how well I finish the product, the finished product becomes, when I get to that stage, I just may go flat. It wouldn't bother me either way. I just got to choose the right color in order to go flat, because not all colors look good flat. What color am I going to go with this? Well, you know what? I'll tell you. I've been looking at these European boats, you know, and out in Malaysia and places like that. I watch the YouTube all the time. And they're using oranges, they're using blues, they're using bright greens, yellows, and they're really they really stand out really nice. And I might do a combination like that, you know, probably go with a bright green bottom, and the top could be a bright orange with a dividing line at the water line between the two colors of a turquoise. I know that might sound crazy, but get on YouTube and check out these boats from Europe and in Malaysia, and look at the colors there. It's almost like they're having a party when they paint them. And I like that, you know. I mean, I can paint it all white and call it a day. That's boring. I didn't go through all this trouble for white. I won't do that. But that's just me, right? That's just me. Yeah. Yeah, I think once it's all figured out, I don't know if I'm lucky. I don't know if I did something right, but I had minimal problems with this. Minimal. The biggest part was here at the stern, and then the opposite side, where I got all this foldy thing going on, and this patch I had to put in here. So I had a lot of edges to clean up here. That was the toughest here, and then everywhere an overlap came down, and I had to overlap the material, which means at the joint there's 4 layers of material, right, since I'm putting 2 layers down. So those had to be sanded down to a reasonable tolerance, and I think I did a good job. I think what's helping me out with this is my experience sanding before finishing cars, and doing Bondo work and putting hood scoops on and finishing the product, so when you go to paint it, it looks pristine. Well, this is not going to be pristine, but it's going to be damn close. I don't know if I can say that on YouTube, and if I can't, I'm sorry. Okay. Big Matt had some comments. Thanks, Big Matt. I appreciate it. Everybody's asking me what I'm going to be doing with the boat. Well, it's for me. I'm going to use it for fishing. I'm going to use it to just go out and ride in, maybe go for the afternoon. Like, we don't have giant lakes here in Alberta. They're like big ponds. But big enough to take a boat out like this and go and have some fun. Take it out to the BC coast if I get a chance to get out in the ocean there and putt around the islands. That would be really nice. Do some crab fishing and stuff like that. But yeah, I'll be fishing. This is just for personal use, family use. Get my children on board if they're not too busy to come out and join me. They're obviously all grown up. My wife likes boating. She loves sitting in the boat and going for a run. She finds it tranquil, so that's what we're going to do with it, okay? Now, I'm not sure. I'm not set on the color yet. If you feel like dropping a comment, Please subscribe, leave a comment, maybe give me an idea for some color combinations, and I'll look up the color. And I'm not too sure if this is going to get gel coat or get epoxy paint. I have to look into that. I'm not too sure how that works, okay? I hear some guys are painting them with epoxy paint, and then I hear some guys are gel coating the boat. And there's something to do about waxing or wax on or wax off with the gel coats. I don't know too much about that department. It sounds tricky to me, so I might not go to tricky. But if you've got a comment that can help me out about gel coat, its application, and if it's worth it. Or I'll just go with the epoxy paint. I've used epoxy paint before. Open up the can, stir it up. You might have to add something to it and just, roll it out and tip it as I go. My neighbors probably think I'm crazy talking to myself like this. I haven't seen anybody looking over the fence, but they know I'm here. The picture's a little dark. Once again, it's really sunny out here, and this is the only reasonable place to put the camera. So this is why I'm talking to you from this corner. Alberta, it's either raining or it's just sunny and hot. It's a weird hot because, I've been in 20, 30 degree weather before, and this is pretty nasty. Okay, so listen, this is going to be a short video. If you haven't subscribed and you're interested to see my progress on this 30-foot dory, please subscribe. Like is nice also. And stay tuned. I'll be back again. I'm not too sure when I'm going to release my next video. I really don't want to bring back sanding again. I think I've killed that for you at this point. I may just bring out a video to show you my progress, to let you know I'm still here. I'm still working on the boat. I've got a ton. Now listen to this. Short story. Jeff Spire, may you rest in peace. His plans for this boat calls for 8 gallons. 8 gallons of resin. Okay? We're not talking liters here. I'm Canadian, yes, but I don't do the metric, okay? I didn't ask for it. Everything I do is pounds, foot, inches. You know what I'm saying? So Jeff, he said 8 gallons of resin to cover this 30-foot dory. This is called the Key West, and the bottom length is 26 feet, and from the stern to the stem, it's 30 feet 4 inches. It's got 2 layers of 6-ounce mat, and since I threw the mat over this way instead of going lengthwise, because I couldn't resin fast enough to take the chance to resin lengthwise, I went across. I fell just short of 40 feet short on the port side in the front. I still have to do that. It still hasn't been fiberglass yet, but that's 128. That would have taken me 148 lineal feet of 6-ounce cloth to cover this boat. He says 8 gallons. I did it in 4 gallons. So you're going to have to try to let me know what I did wrong. And it's full. There's resin on it. So it's actually took half of what the plan said. So I went out and bought 12 gallons. Okay, and that set me back like almost $1,800. And here I am, and I do the whole boat. I'll have used about 4 gallons for sure. Total, including finishing the starboard front side. Okay, the last 9 feet. That's a lot of extra resin. So I might just re-resin this by brush, just to fill in a little bit more the material. I can feel the roughness. And ferret. And that'll be it. Sand it out, and that's as far as I'm willing to go. I think I should be pretty good that way. It should look good, hold up pretty good. And next summer I got to figure out how to flip this. I might have to go down to the fire department and see if any of the buddies still there and see if they're willing to come over and help me out. Or I may have to call a crane guy to come in and use that double roller system they have to rotate the whole boat and then put it down. And that's probably $500 to do that. And he'll have to come over to the house with the boom, come down, and see. I have to talk to him to see if it's possible. Or I'll have to jerry-rig something in my tree up here and roll it somehow, the best I can. Put support across the inside so I don't crush the boat under its own weight, if it's possible. So that'll be next year's project. Flipping it over. Then the fun begins, finishing the inside. So there'll be more videos to come. These videos now I think will be a little far few in between. If you haven't seen my other videos, please go on in and check them out. Now, I'm not a professional boat builder. I want that understood. This is my first boat project. I have never done this before. So I'm definitely learning as I go. And I don't think I'm too far out of the envelope as far as getting it done the way it's supposed to, according to the plans that I have to lay this boat out, okay? Except for the fact that I did use cedar for all the 2x4s inside. I didn't want to use pine. I wasn't comfortable with pine to do all the frames with pine. I used cedar, red cedar. A little bit more waterproof, I understand. Okay, so this is Dan's 30-foot dory build. This is video, I don't know, 47, 48, 40, no, I'm 53, I think. Check them out. Stay tuned, and I will get back to you with more as soon as I can. Thank you very much. Remember, subscribe, take care, and have a good day.